How are y'all doing? Welcome to the Fantasy NBA today. Rick Kamla and the Hall of Famer Steve Alexander. The GOATs are here. The OGs are here. We are going to talk fantasy basketball with you all. We're also going to talk about these playoffs from a betting perspective. We've got you, and it should be a hell of a show. Doc, I want to tell everybody about our great sponsor, BetOnline, before we dive in. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform, your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing. Me and Doc are playing in the Sports Ethos League this week. We're already talking trash to each other. So you got betting on baseball going on. Doc sends me texts all the time about, I was on BetOnline and won some money betting baseball. I love this dude. I'm not quite there yet. I'm betting basketball right now. We're in the home stretch for the NBA. The NHL playoffs are fired up. They have more ways for you to stay in the action with the latest odds, the news, the scores. They have live in-game betting when the games are being played, which is my personal favorite, with the largest selection of odds and everything from MLB, NHL, UFC. BetOnline remains the number one online source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline casino with all the top Vegas-style games. They have poker, they have live casino, and more. BetOnline, the game starts here. Doc, first of all, what's up, man? We're going to talk fantasy sleepers here and guys that really increase their ADP. And I was just going to ask you a general, like, hey, how you doing? We have breaking news. The Hawks just announced that they have fired general manager Landry Fields. And we are going to talk about Dyson Daniels like in 1 minute, but we honor breaking news here as well. Okay, dude, you go first. I got a lot to say. You go first, dude. The Hawks just fired Landry Fields. How is that hitting you right now?
Honestly, Rick, I live in the Atlanta area. The Hawks are sort of my home team. I root for the Hawks. Bob Rathman is my boy. I love that guy. Dominique, I love him. I really enjoyed what Trey did this year. I thought Landry Fields did a good job of getting DeJounte Murray gone. I thought he did a good job with Okongwu. I thought he did a good job with bringing Dyson Daniels in. Obviously, Dyson Daniels was a huge hit for the Hawks. He drafted Jalen Johnson as well, I believe. So it is surprising. I thought Landry Fields was doing a good job. I thought Landry Fields was one of the few really smart things that management has done over the last 25 years, is having that guy here and having him put together the pieces to have a prosperous future. The guy that they promoted in his place, is it Orisi? What's his name, Rick? Do you know?
I don't have that information up. Let me go to
it's Osiri or Orisi. I just saw it. Anyway, I thought Landry Fields was doing a pretty good job. Ansi Salah has been promoted to general manager. I don't know anything about him, but yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I thought Fields was doing a good job.
I'm completely floored by this. I'm completely floored by this. Doc, our league is either on LSD or peyote or ayahuasca. There is, not that I do that stuff or know anything about that stuff. I've only heard about it, but this league is on psychedelics right now. Hawks PR. We've announced that we will begin the search for a president of basketball operations and have hired Sportsology Group, a leading provider of strategic advisory and operational support in the sports industry, to direct the process. We also announced that Landry Fields has been relieved of his duties as general manager, and Ansi Salah has been promoted to general manager of the Hawks. This is some dumbassery dysfunction by a dumbass dysfunctional team. That's all this is. They're probably going to fire Quinn Snyder about this, okay? Because, Doc, you bring in a new boss, guess what? The new boss wants his guy. Quinn Snyder is going to be a holdover from the previous regime. I'm not trying to get Quinn whacked. I don't think Quinn deserves to be whacked. What expectations did Landry Fields fail to get fired? I don't. Oh, you didn't make the playoffs. Who thought they were making the fucking playoffs? Are you serious right now? And dude, Dyson Daniels, Doc, is up for most improved player and defensive player of the year. It's probably the biggest GM win of the entire 24-25 basketball season. Like, Calvin Booth to me got a big win with the Christian Brown ascension, right? Like, that was like, okay, Calvin, like, yeah, like that was a good move, a really good move. But getting Dyson Daniels and then DeJounte Murray blows the tire and is out for the whole damn year. I'm really, really confused, dude. But we've been confused by the Luka trade, by the Malone firing, by the Jenkins firing, and now oh, they fired Landry Field. Dude, this league is on acid right now, dude.
Will you go back? I want to go back to what you read. They hired
Sportsology Group. I can tell you right now, I would do a better job of hiring from my living room than Sportsology. Sportsology, like, and if you're Tony Ressler, the owner of the Hawks, why are you outsourcing the search for your president? You should be doing that. Have interviews, wine and dine. We're going to outsource that to Sportsology Group? Madness.
Why don't they just put Dominique in charge of basketball operations and let him make these decisions? Like,
I'm not mad.
I don't understand. Like, let basketball guys make basketball moves, like Landry Fields. It's you know, and the thing that, you know, Trey was all mad about the play-in tournament. He's like, you know, we were good enough to be in the playoffs. We should have just been in. Like, it shouldn't have been.
No, they weren't
a play-in. But I mean, this is the Atlanta Hawks. They're a bubble playoff team every single year, except for like 2 or 3 out of the last 25. They're always on the borderline. They always try as hard as they can. They never tank, which means they never get high draft picks. And when they do, they take friggin' Marvin Williams instead of Chris Paul. You know, it's just one thing after another with Atlanta. And first of all, I think this is a really dumb move, firing Landry Fields. But secondly, you're hiring a firm. All I can see in my head right now is Moneyball, the baseball movie, with the kid that all he knows is numbers, and you know, coming in there like, oh yeah, here are the numbers. Just let a basketball person make a basketball move. This is stupid.
I think it's stupid, dude, but that is what it is. And by the way, Ansi Sala will not be the shot caller, okay? He's the general manager. That doesn't always mean that you're the shot caller. The president of basketball operations that they're about to hire. And, like, to me, you don't need Sportsology Group, okay?
No.
Hey, Tony Ressler, send Rick Kamla and Dr. A, send us each $1,000. $1,000. That's all we ask. We should ask for more. It is very simple. Go hire David Griffin, you dumbasses. That's all you have to do. Go hire David Griffin. You don't even need to, dude.
And then
might be why they fired him, because Griffin is now available. Just go get David Griffin. You'll be fine.
And then have him hire Taylor Jenkins, and we're all good. Well, I mean, I want him to keep Quinn, but like you said, that might be a long shot now.
I like the David Griffin, Taylor Jenkins thing. Again, I'm not trying to get Quinn blown out. The new GM may want to rock with Quinn. That's not usually how it goes. All right, Dr. A, a little breaking news here. More NBA Twilight Zone. We are going to talk fantasy basketball sleepers, players that had the biggest ADP to final ranking jumps. Said another way, these were like the premier pop players. These are the guys who went from way back here to bam, relevant and more than relevant, like fantasy rock stars. So let's break down 9 players who had the biggest leaps between their ADP, their final 8 cat per game ranking. And we're going to ask a question for all these guys. Is this the new reality for this player, or do we expect regression? Okay, so let's start with Dyson Daniels. He had an ADP of 136. Which meant last pick of the draft, waivers in a lot of leagues, and then immediately picked up. He finished 21st in 8 cat per game. That's a plus 115 ranking place jump. Wow. 8 cat total rank 11. 9 cat per game, he ranked 14th, and 9 cat totals 6th. So, Doc, is this the new reality for Dyson Daniels, or do you expect regression?
This should be an interesting conversation because I'm a Dyson guy. I know that you are like, man, he's not going to be a first round player next year. Anybody who takes him in the first round is crazy. And I don't think I'll be the guy taking him in the first round, but I want some more of this, man. Dyson Daniels was fun to roster this season. 76 games, 14 points, 6 boards, 4.5 assists, 3 steals. And the steals are not really an accident. His steals over his 3-year career went from 0.7 to 1.4 to 3.0. His scoring went from 3.8 to 5.8 to 14.1. I mean, that's a massive leap, but he got a new team, he got a new role. And the fact that Jalen Johnson got hurt should not be lost in this, because if Jalen Johnson was around for the whole season, which he hasn't been around for a full season yet, I don't think Dyson pops quite as hard. And those steals alone have projected him in where'd you say was ranked?
I mean, the rankings are
20,
just stupid.
21, right? So
21st, yeah, in 8 cat per game.
Yeah, and that's per game. So the numbers probably wouldn't be that big had Jalen Johnson been healthy. But I think Daniels looks like a solid third-round player if you need steals at that point in your draft and you need a guard and everything comes together. Rick and others might argue that you need to get a guy who scores 25 a game or 20 a game in the third round, or gets a ton of rebounds or a ton of assists or whatever. But steals is its own category, and he's the best swiper there is in the league. So I love Dyson Daniels. I think I don't think he'll tail off too hard from this next year. Actually, I think the numbers, I could see 15 points, 6 boards, 5 assists, maybe 2.5 steals. I think the regression is going to be with steals. It's going to be hard to go back-to-back seasons with 3 steals.
That is Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, a.k.a. Dr. A. This is Dyson Daniels' new reality. I just think he's going to be overdrafted. You mentioned third round. I can go to sleep at night and be content with third round. Second round to me is too rich. That's where I'm looking to bang a 25, 5 and 5 with 2.5 threes, 1.5 steals, and take a little hit in the steal category, get all those goodies elsewhere, and then at back end fill the steal categories with some other guys. But I think this is his new reality. I just believe he's going to be overdrafted. Again, third round, not mad at that. Second round, I think is, and I know his rankings this year speak to him being a second round pick. What I know is that counting numbers aren't always perfectly weighted and valued in these. It's all about counting numbers, because I don't even talk about the ratios, okay? And we win chips all the time over here without doing this, all right? And so steals, very, very important category. But I'm not taking 14, 6, and 4 in the second round. There's just no way. Third round, yeah, I may take Dyson Daniels in the third round because the guy's durable. By the way, playing for money, because he hasn't been really paid yet. So he's out there playing for dollars as well. So we both say the new reality for Dyson Daniels. How about Josh Hart, Dr. A? ADP of 116 coming into the year, finished 32nd. That's a plus 84 jump, which is crazy. 8 cat totals, he was 15th. 9 cat per game, 26th. 9 cat totals, 12th. Okay, so is this top 30 player basically that we're talking about here, Doc, a new reality, or do you expect regression from Josh Hart?
I mean, I think a lot of us expected regression this year, and we did not get regression. We got aggression, progression, whatever you want to call it. Like, dude went from 9.4 points last year to which, we were good with that from Josh Hart last year, right? Like, man, he had a great season, 8 boards, 4 assists, a steal, a 3. He bumped that up to 13.6 points, almost 14 points a game. He plays for Tom Thibodeau. Dante DiVincenzo is gone. And even with Mikal Bridges coming in for all that stuff they gave up to get him, it was still kind of the Josh Hart show, right? Almost 14 points, 10 boards, 6 assists, 1.5 steals, and over a 3 per game with pretty good percentages, and low turnovers as well for somebody having the ball that much. So I don't know if Josh Hart. Well, I was going to say I don't know if he can rebound like that again next year, but his rebounds over the last 4 seasons are 8, 7, 8, and 9.6. So he can do that. He's kind of a double-double guy, sometimes triple-double guy. I don't feel like taking Josh Hart in the 3rd round. I don't think you need to, because by the
You
time
won't have to.
October rolls around, and you're doing your fantasy drafts, no one's going to be targeting Josh Hart in the 3rd round, I don't think. So 5th round to me sounds great. I guess I'm just going to leave it at that.
I completely agree with that. I don't have, my board up and all this. I haven't done rankings yet. The season just ended, but just like, I mean, we're in it every day deeply. 4th round doesn't even feel comfortable for Josh Hart right now. Let me rank in a 12-team league, 5 rounds of 60 guys. I mean, let me rank 60 guys, and where's Josh Hart in there? I haven't done that yet. But round 5 seems like, okay, maybe I took a couple of guards. I got a center. I need a forward spot. Okay, Josh Hart's probably a guy I'm going to fill one of my forward spots with. I think this is the new reality for Josh Hart. I'm not sure what moves the Knicks can make, Doc, other than on the fringe. Seems like they got their 5, and this is going to be their 5 for a minute. I know Mikal Bridges has an extension out there that, maybe they do it, maybe they don't. But Josh Hart is going to be locked and loaded. He is extended for many, many years out with the New York Knicks. And you mentioned, I mean, Tibbs culture, plays every minute of every game, basically, and that leads to all these goodies. So when Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle were traded out, you bring back Cat, but you send out 2, bring back 1, boom, Josh Hart. That's what created this whole ascension. And so as long as they don't bring in another big boy, Josh Hart's going to be good to go. I say new reality for him. John Collins, remember him? Remember John Collins? What a fantastic fantasy player. Came in with an ADP of 108, finished 40th. Okay, he had a plus 68 spot jump over his preseason ADP. 8 cat totals. He was 149th because he didn't play. Screw you, Utah. 9 cat per game, 44th. And then 9 cat totals, he was 159th. Is this, Doc, the 40th place finish, the 9 cat per game of 44, is this the new reality for John Collins, or do you expect regression?
Well, first of all, he plays for Utah, right? And you and I don't trust players in Utah. Secondly, that's his per game stats. He played 40 games, 40, less than half the season. And I think everybody was a little surprised to see him averaging 19 points and 8 boards, with a steal and a block and a 3.5 per game. His scoring had gone from like 21, 17, 16. It had been falling for years. And then it bottomed out at 13 points his last year with the Hawks. And then he came back with Utah that last year, scored 15. And this year he was up to 19. So he's trending back in the right direction. But honestly, I don't care what the numbers say. If I find myself thinking about drafting John Collins before the 10th round, I need somebody to slap me back into reality, because he's not a guy you take before the 10th round. He's just not.
If he's still on, he's not draftable at all for me. Not at all. 15th round, 17th round, I'm going to let you have John Collins because he plays for Utah. I'm a John Collins fan. Doc and I are big Obi Toppin guys over here. We both believe that if Obi Toppin were starting power forward playing 30 minutes a game, he'd be a fantasy stud. And you'd view him a lot differently. John Collins is the same way. He's bouncy. He hits threes. He brings D to the table. He's a double-double most nights when he's getting his minutes. He's a fantastic player, guys. John Collins is a stud. I've always been a fan. But if he's not going to play for that tanky-ass Jazz team, I mean, like, I don't want the Jazz to get Cooper Flag, Doc. I don't want this tank to be honored. But at the same time, if they get, well, if they get Cooper Flag, they'll end the tank, right? Presumably. But here's the thing. If you get Cooper Flag, now you need to trade John Collins. They kind of sort of play the same position. You have Lauri Markkanen and John Collins already that kind of sort of play the same position. So Utah's got to make moves. I say expect regression. I do. Just he's literally undraftable for me. Lauri Markkanen, undraftable for me. Clarkson is a waiver wire guy anyway. Colin Sexton is draftable. They actually played him all the way to the end of the year. And Walker Kessler is draftable because they played him. And then the last month or so, they were kind of doing the every other game thing, but they didn't shut him down. So that's what I got on John Collins, man. I want John Collins to be traded. I want him to be traded. I actually want him to be traded more than Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I didn't draft John Collins anywhere this last year, and I don't even think I picked him up anywhere. I just let other people do it. There was a time when we were talking about taking John Collins like in the second round of fantasy drafts, like 10 years ago. And he's literally never exceeded expectations ever until this year, maybe. And even then, it seems like it's false. So yeah, I'm with you. I don't see me drafting John Collins this coming season, but maybe round 12, maybe somewhere in there, I'll be like, hey, Collins is sitting out there. I kind of like how he looked in training camp. I'm going to take him. So I'm not going to rule him out, but I'm certainly he's not on my list of guys.
Understood. Utah, please trade John Collins. They're not going to trade Lauri Markkanen, but please trade John Collins. All right, how about Trey Murphy, Doc? It is the Fantasy NBA today. It is Rick Kamla. It is Hall of Famer Steve Alexander. And we want you to download the Sports Ethos app. We're making big investments in what we call the next generation of sports ethos. The past 12 months have been a game changer for us on all fronts. We're working hard behind the scenes to deliver the best fantasy product you've ever experienced. You're experiencing that right now. And if you want even more of a taste of it, download our app now. Stay on top of all the latest news for the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball as well. Plus, take advantage of our fantasy basketball tools. Our app is your ultimate edge, so don't miss out. Doc, let's talk about Trey Murphy. ADP of 97, finished 35th, a plus 62 jump. 8 cat totals, 76. But what's important here because of his injuries, the 9 cat per game, which was 27th, and his 9 cat totals were 72nd. Do you expect a new reality? Is this the new reality for Trey Murphy, or do you expect regression next year, Doc?
No, I think he, I look at Trey Murphy and I think this kid's on his way up. Like he's a riser, not a faller. So I think this is the new reality. What I hope is not the new reality is the 53 games he played this year and the 57 games he played last year. Like, you think of Trey Murphy and you think, oh, he's in the 3-point contest. I think he was even in the dunk contest the year before last, maybe. But you also think of him like holding his shoulder or laying on the ground, holding his knee. And I don't like that because it's like Jalen Johnson, man. I think Trey Murphy is going to be a really, really fun fantasy player over the next 10 years if he can stay healthy. And same with Jalen Johnson. These guys need to stay healthy. So to me, Trey Murphy is a riser, and this is a new reality.
This is the new reality for him, but we're going to have to wait, okay? He's probably going to miss, in my estimation, the first couple of months of the regular season with the labrum injury that required surgery. Andre's telling me he likely won't be able to resume full activity until October of 2025. I am estimating around Christmas. I think he's going to miss around the first couple of months of the season. And if he's resuming full activity in October, then you got October, November, December. I mean, maybe it's January. I don't know. But I think my timeline is pretty on point here. He had surgery Wednesday, March 26th. So, and it's a 6 to 9 month thing, the torn labrum. So, but I think when he comes back, it'll be the new reality. This is the new reality for him because Brandon Ingram is no longer there. If BI was still there, and if healthy, I know, right? And then you had Zion, and you've got CJ, and you've got Herb Jones, you got DeJounte Murray, then I'd be like, nah, there's regression coming. But with BI blown out, and they have a starting spot now for Trey Murphy. I think it would be CJ McCollum or Herb Jones coming off the bench, and DeJounte Murray clearly would start when healthy. So I think this is the new reality for Trey Murphy, and I think he is an awesome buy low target in dynasty leagues because of the injury. Clearly not the stats from last year, but the injury I think has created a buy low opportunity for you to swoop in and not have him the first 2 months of the season. But who cares? You're a badass, right? You're in this for the chip. I mean, you got to win games along the way, right? But you got to also have a big picture in mind. And if you are one of the GOATs, and if you are like a perennial winner of your league or competitor in your league, then you should be thinking out, not just for today. A little bit of a blend of both. Doc, how about Tari Eason here? He had an ADP.
Real quick.
Yeah, what's
go
up?
ahead.
Hit me.
Well, first of all, I want to finish up on. I got two more things on our boy. A labrum tear, isn't that the thing that messes up guys' shooting motion?
Nope.
No.
I mean, it didn't do that to Dwayne Wade. It didn't do that to Rudy Gay. I need specific. Well,
who's the number one pick for the Sixers? Who's that
Markel
kid in the guard?
Fultz.
Did he have a labrum tear?
I don't know.
Does Andre know?
I don't.
Whatever. All I know is when you mess up your shoulder, like my wife's, it's been a year and she still can't. And I know she's not a professional basketball player, but the shoulder is no joke, man. And it takes so long for him to rehab and come back. And so I'm a little worried about that. But that beside that, hopefully he comes back and he's good to go. In this year of weirdness, we talked about Landry Fields. We talked about Luka. We talked about Taylor Jenkins. We talked about Michael Malone in Denver. Perhaps the weirdest thing that we've seen is Toronto going all in on Brandon Ingram, and nobody even talks about that one. Like, how bizarre was that to you?
Beyond. Absolutely horrible decision by Masai Ujiri.
Like, we haven't even seen Brandon Ingram. Like, he's been on a milk carton for like 2.5 years because he had a toe injury. Like, that to me is the weirdest thing. And for Toronto to go all in on him and open the door for Herb Jones and Trey Murphy is awesome news for those guys. And I feel like the Pelicans are going to move Zion this summer. I feel like Zion might be done in New Orleans. So I think the world is Trey Murphy's oyster. Like, if he can get over this injury and come back around Christmas, he's going to ball out. All right, sorry.
You're good, man. You're good. And then let's talk about Tari Eason here. Let me give you the numbers here. 143rd ADP, finished 82nd, a plus 61 jump. And let me look at, because he missed a bunch of games. I'll look at 9 cat per game. He was 66th, Doc. So is this the new reality for Tari Eason, or do you expect regression next year?
I don't know. I hope that the Rockets make some changes and clear up space for Tari Eason to play as much as Amen Thompson does, because I think Tari Eason's really, really good. And Fred VanVleet is kind of in the way of him getting those minutes, because Amen Thompson's locked. Şengün is locked. Jalen Green locked. But there is room there if we can get Freddie VanVleet out of the way for Tari Eason to come in and excel. Now, Eason's a guy, Rick, that I don't think you get very excited about because the numbers don't really pop, right? 12 points, 6 boards, 1.5 assists, 1.7 steals is nice, 1 3, 1 block, and decent percentage is 76 from the free throw line. But the problem is he's getting less than 25 minutes a game. If you can get him consistently 27, 28 minutes a game, he turns into a stud. He turns into like Dyson Daniels. So I think this is the new Tari Eason, as long as Houston clears up a path for him to have that success.
I love the answer, Doc. They did move Jabari Smith to the bench, and he started playing well. So I think that helped with Tari Eason getting more time. I am a Tari Eason guy. I really like him a lot in reality. To me, in fantasy, because he doesn't play in back-to-backs, Doc, he's got that pesky leg injury. They keep his minutes down, okay? Because last year, remember, they were kind of rolling, and they had to shut him down because of that leg injury. And so this year, they kept his minutes down. They didn't play him in back-to-backs, and he's still playing. He's still alive and well here in the series against Golden State. I think this is the new reality for Tari Eason. I think he has carved out a permanent spot in Ime Udoka's rotation. I'm just not that psyched about it. Like, he's a late round pick type of guy for me, but Doc, I'm probably going to let you or somebody else take him late round because I know that there's going to be a lot of maintenance. I know there's probably not going to be a back-to-back sets for him. I know he's going to be light in the PRA, but he's going to be great in the fantasy gold. So that's kind of where I'm at with Tari Eason. I do think it's his new reality, but I'm just not that fired up about it.
Yeah, I think there's a chance that he may play in back-to-backs next year. I think they were being careful with him this year. Hopefully, they let him chill out over the summer and just rest, and then be ready to go full bore next year. But I'm with you. I think, if it's the 11th round and I see Tari Eason sitting there, I'd be like, oh, this feels like the right time to take a flyer, because who knows, man, he can play a ton of minutes next year and go off. He has that potential, all upside, right? So I'd be excited if I got him in the 11th or 12th.
We shall see, man. We shall see. It is the Fantasy NBA today. Rick Kamla and Hall of Famer Steve Alexander. I want to tell you guys about some of the stuff we have going on here at Sports Ethos. If you want to support us, if you're enjoying what you do, it's very easy. The best way is to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. And if you're feeling extra frisky and generous, drop us a written review. It'll help us grow and reach even more people. Andre brings up a great point that with the Kevin Durant summer that's about to happen with his trade and new destination, Houston, and they would do a bundle trade, and it would be a Reed Shepard, a Tari Eason, a Jalen Green, a bunch of picks, and my God, would that be stupid by the Houston Rockets. Please, please, please don't break up my little team that could. Don't break up my Rocks, okay? Don't do it. And the Wolves are obviously my overarching team. They're my squad, but I like the Rockets, all right? I was kind of low-key rooting for them last night against GSW, futilely, I might add. But I like the Rocks, okay? I don't want that team dismantled to go get Kevin Durant. I just don't. I think that would be predictable, but I think it'd be the wrong move. All right, let's talk Cam Johnson of the Brooklyn Nets, Doc. And before I even get into the numbers here, some we got to keep in mind on Cam Johnson and all Brooklyn Nets. When is this tank going to end? I don't know. Could be 3 years from now. Talk to the Utah Jazz. Remember the Portland Trailblazers? They were in like a 3 or 4 year tank, okay? And they finally came out of it. Cam Johnson, ADP of 121, finished 63rd, okay? A plus 58 jump. And again, games played hurt the totals here, but his 9 cat per game was 53. And he had a really good year, Doc. I mean, it's the best year he's had statistically. So is this the new reality for Cam Johnson, or do you expect regression next year?
If he stays with that organization in Brooklyn, he's one of the best players on that team. And he got helped out by the fact that my boy, what's his face? Cam Thomas got hurt. That helped because it allowed Cam Johnson to shoot a lot more. The numbers are nice, but dude, I'm just going to rattle off games played for his career, right? 57, 60, 66, 42, 58, and 57. Like, he's never played more than 66 games in a season. He's only hit more than 60 like once. And the rest of the time, it's all in the 50s and 40s every year. You just can't trust the guy to stay healthy. I think this is the new reality if he stays in Brooklyn and if he's the man. Because if he gets traded or moves to another team, he's not going to be the man. So, I mean, I'll take Cam Johnson if he's available and he looks better than the other guys, later in a draft. But I'm not circling his name on my draft board and reaching to get him or doing anything crazy to get him. Like, if somebody else takes Cam Johnson, I'm not going to be sad.
If the Brooklyn Nets decide to go for it this summer, make a trade, whatever, if they continue to be in the malaise that they're in right now, they're all dead to me. Cam Thomas, Cam Johnson, Nick Claxton, they're all dead to me because I don't trust the minutes. I don't trust them finishing the year. I don't trust them playing in back-to-backs. If something goes wrong, the team's going to be extra cautious about it, as opposed to, all right, we kind of need to win tonight. And so there's all that thinking. I'm out. It's like the Utah thing in the Eastern Conference. So I don't think it's his new reality either, Doc. I think if we had seen Cam Thomas play all year and average 25, 27, whatever it was, we would not have seen this much from Cam Johnson. I think he still could have a solid year, but not the year that he had. So I don't even think this is his new reality because you have, and I say this affectionately, I love Cam Thomas. He's one of my favorite players, but he is a ball hog, okay? He is in the ball hog Hall of Fame. Doc knows this. He ain't there to pass. He came to the dinner table to eat, okay? And he's gobbling up all the shots shamelessly, and he is not going to, go to the locker room. Hey, man, let's get you more. No, I need more shots, okay? So that is not the new reality for Cam Johnson for me. As you can see, I'm not a big Cam Johnson guy. Amen Thompson, ADP 116, finished 59th. That's a plus 57 jump. And let's look at totals here. 8 cat totals, 50th. 9 cat per game, 54th. 9 cat totals, 49. That's all very consistent. Doc can be in a top 60 player last year and basically doubling it from his ADP to where he finished. So is this the new reality for Amen, or do you expect regression?
Neither. He's going to be better than this next year. And he's going to be better than that the year after that. And he's going to be a freaking superstar 3 years from now. Rick, dynasty basketball leagues and I just don't get along. And I told you reluctantly like the other day, I was like, dude, I can't do it. I cannot give enough time and energy to dynasty leagues. I prefer redraft leagues and basketball. And you're like, say no more. Screw you. You're out. Andre, you have Doc's team. And Andre sends me an email where we're talking on backstage or whatever. He's like, hey, Doc, thanks for giving me your team. I saw Amen Thompson on there and I was sold. That is all I needed to know, is that I have Amen in a dynasty league. Like, Andre's excited about it. I'm excited for him. Amen Thompson was one of the few good things I did managing that team. And I just think the world of Amen Thompson. Like, I hope the Houston Rockets come back and beat Golden State. I want the little Rockets team that could to continue to make noise. And if that's going to happen, Amen has got to be the centerpiece of it all. So I think the sky's the limit. I think this guy is going to be overdrafted. He's going to be on my list of my guys, and I will reach to get Amen Thompson next year.
Your guys and reaching up for Giddey and guys like that worked out very, very well for you this past season. Obviously, you guys know it's well documented. I'm a huge Amen Thompson guy. So I do think this is his new reality. And I agree with Doc. The numbers are just going to keep going up and up and up. And, Houston might make a trade with the Phoenix Suns for Kevin Durant. I absolutely positively do not believe that Amen Thompson will be in that trade. I think Alpi Şengün is untouchable. I think Amen Thompson's untouchable. And I think everybody else is touchable for that trade. Again, I wouldn't do it. I would sit with what I got right here if I were Houston and just do the slow build. And they may do that. I don't know. We'll see how the summer of Kevin Durant goes. Now,
is it me, or does Kevin Durant ruin every team he goes to? Like in the last,
I'm a big Kevin Durant fan, so I'm not going to co-sign the way you just said that, but I'll say it this way, Doc. I don't disagree. I don't. I mean, Golden State, obviously, they went bang, bang, and they broke the league, right? It was just unfair.
That was it. That was the only one.
Mm-hmm. But you think about Brooklyn, okay? it's injuries, drama. And then he goes to Phoenix. It's injuries, drama. So if he goes to Houston, is it injuries, drama, or is it smooth sailing? I don't know. That's kind of not the Kevin Durant way. It's just not. And again, I'm a Kevin Durant fan, but we got to call it what it is.
All right.
Is
I love him, man.
And by the way, I did not tell Andre that he was getting your team. I am a Democratic politician, aka the commissioner of the Cam Dynasty. And I sent, because I have 2 other defections in the league as well, Doc. So now I have 2 openings. And I gave Andre the choice of any of those 3 teams. And he chose your team. So A, that should make you feel good.
That feels like a win.
So that's going on. He picked your team. Now, Andre made a trade, and he was telling me about this right before we went live with the Sports Ethos NBA show with Rick Kamla. So, we have the show to do and stuff. I wasn't in the headspace to, break down his trade. So let's do it here on the air. It's a fantasy trade. It's a dynasty league. Dynasty leagues are by far the best over redraft leagues, but okay, that's fine. And so I'll shout out the NBA FL League that Andre is in. He said trade was. And this is Andre sending out De'Aaron Fox, Brandon Miller, and Kobe White, and Nick Claxton. Wow. For Ant-Man and Alex Sarr. Andre, I've got to ask you a question. Did you have to consolidate for the sake of getting your roster down to a certain number? He said, nope. It just took that much to get Ant-Man and Sarr. Oh, man. This is a tough one, man. I'm assuming Andre's team is totally badass because that's how he rolls, and he just wants these difference makers to put his team over the top. I like the trade. I will say this. You gave up a lot. Brandon Miller, young guy. Kobe, young guy. Claxton, young guy. Fox is like a mid-year vet, but dang, that's a lot to give up. That's a lot to give up.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to give up a lot to get superstars. And Ant is going to be the face of the league, and Alex Sarr could be really, really good.
Sarr's my guy. Alex Sarr's
really good.
Oh, and he's got Wemby.
Oh, and
too.
he has Ant and Wemby for the next 10 years.
Oh boy. Andre's going to be printing chips over there. I don't know, man. I would do the trade. Ant-Man is the best player in the deal, and so you always want to be getting that. And then I love Alex Sarr. The goodie collection from him is going to be fabulous moving forward. Washington showed us this year that even if they're kind of sucky, that they're still going to play their guys if healthy. So I like that. And so I like the trade. I don't think Andre killed the guy. I don't. I kind of like the guys' haul here. Fox, Brandon Miller, Kobe White, Nick Claxton. I mean, you're checking forward boxes, guard boxes, center boxes. I just think it's a good trade. And I like Andre's side of it, man. Okay, wanted to vet that here and give you guys some edification on that. Kristaps Porzingis, Doc, as we get back into our sleeper conversation, came in with an ADP of 104. Dang. I mean, that's right. He came into the year hurt and then made it back sooner than a lot of us thought. Okay, so ADP of 104, finished 47th. It's a plus 57 jump. And we got to look at 9 cat per game here because of the lack of games. 22nd in 9 cat per game because he was damn good when he played. Is this the new reality for KP, or do you expect regression next year?
It's what he does every year. I mean, every year it's 20 points. It's 7 or 8 boards. It's 2 assists. It's a block and a half. It's a steal or close to it. And it's a couple threes. And he did it again this year. The problem is he's very consistent in games played. Starting in 2016 and 17, 66, 48, 57, 43, 34, 17, 65, 57. And this last year that we're talking about, 42 games, half the season, even though he came back earlier than expected. So, in head-to-head, you drafted him in the 10th round. You got half a season out of him, and maybe you're good with that. In Roto, when he's in there and the games played don't matter as much, he did what he's supposed to do. I mean, it just is who Kristaps Porzingis is. Next year, I would expect 20 points, 7.5 boards, 2 assists, a steal and a half, or a block and a half, and 0.7 steals and 2.5 threes in 44 games. That's just what it is.
I definitely do not expect regression because Doc said he is who he is. When he plays, he is one of the best players in the NBA. And that's in reality and in fantasy. Uh, Obviously, he's going to play more games next year, we think, because he got hurt in the finals and then, brought the injury into the season. If he's healthy going into the season, I think we got a decent shot at 55 or 60 games. Okay, I'm not going to get crazy here. I don't think he's going to get all the way up to 65, God forbid. But I think this is the new reality. Andre is telling us that he will be playing at Eurobasket this summer. Is that a concern? I don't believe. Look, I think more is more. Okay, so I know that he's injury prone and brittle and all this stuff. The more you play, the better shape you're in, and the better able you will be to withstand injury and hurts and play through it and all that kind of stuff. That will always be my answer with this. And I know he's probably going to make a deep playoff run, but they need to be off their feet. No, I think they need to be on their feet more. I think the lack of activity leads to injuries more than, they're exerting so much. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox here, but I do not expect regression. Last one, Tyler Hero, Doc. ADP of 81 coming into the year. He finished 25th, a plus 56 jump, okay? And his 8 cat totals were 13th. His 9 cat totals were 13th. And his 9 cat per game was 29. He had an absolutely spectacular season, okay? Is this the new reality for Tyler Hero, or do you expect regression next year?
I think this is the reality, man. The only thing that could happen is that would slow him down is Davion Mitchell's sudden. I'm not going to call it a resurgence because he never surged the first time, but we're finally seeing Davion Mitchell be the guy that we thought he was 5 years ago when he got in the league. He's the new point guard of the Miami Heat, at least for right now. And he looks good and he's fired up and he's playing D. That's the only thing that's going to slow Hero down because Hero is probably more comfortable at shooting guard. He probably would prefer that Davion have the ball and distribute to him and have him not sort of have all the focus on him bringing the ball up the court. Played more games this season than he has in any other. The numbers go up almost every year. His numbers improve. And this year was his biggest year yet. Tons of minutes, 35 minutes a game. Like, I don't know, man. I really like Tyler Hero. And whether he's starting at point guard or shooting guard, I don't think it really matters. He's the guy in Miami now, him and Bam Adebayo. And I like him. This is new reality.
The only thing, I agree with everything you said. I'm not worried about Davion Mitchell. I think Spo has found the role for him off the bench playing starters minutes. He had another fabulous game in game 1 against Cleveland, albeit in a 20-point loss. But the only thing that can disturb Tyler Hero at this point is if they trade for Kevin Durant, if they go big game hunting. And Doc, you and I and Andre and all of our audience members know this. They are going to try to go big game hunting this offseason. I absolutely promise. You will hear the Heat a lot in rumors, and they're in on this guy, in on that guy. I don't know if they're going to get any of them, but they are going to go big game hunting. If they acquire one of those guys, then that will be a regression for Tyler Hero. As we sit, I think this is his new reality. Doc, let's take a helicopter view of the playoff series, okay? And we're going to look at the West. You and Brew later on this week are going to look at the East. We're just going to take a helicopter view here of the West, and then we're going to get into our ATS picks for tonight, and then our prop bets for tonight as well. So let's start, Doc, with Denver and the Los Angeles Clippers. I think it's the best first round series, and I'll check up and let you go. Give me your overall vibes on Denver and the Clippers.
Well, I have the Clippers winning the series, so that means they need to win tonight. It is a must-win game for the Clippers, I would say. It's not must win, but if they want to win the series, they need to win a game. They need to protect their home court. So, I'm not quite sure what else to say about this. I think the Jokic, I agree. It's one of the better matchups in all the playoffs. Like, this should be a slugfest. I love Jokic going up against Ivica Zubac, who's had a really underrated season. That's a great matchup between those two. You got James Harden and Jamal Murray. You've got Kawhi Leonard and Aaron Gordon, who played really, really well in that Denver win in Game 1. I'd say this is a must-win game for the Clippers. If they don't win, I think everything changes and the Nuggets are going to run away with the series. And then you have to look at the Nuggets as a threat to win the West.
I talked about this a lot on the Sports Ethos NBA show with Rick Kamla, so you can go listen to me kind of really go in depth on this over there. What I'll say here is my biggest question about this series was how much David Adelman plays Russell Westbrook against his former team. Why would you not want to plug into Little Rage against his former team and get all that and get that chip on his shoulder? Michael Porter Jr. sucked and then was benched, okay? And Adelman had to address that after the game. So now there's a whole Michael Porter Jr. thing going on in Denver. But I love that Adelman was like, F all of that. We got to win this game, and Russell Westbrook gives me a better chance. I don't care about feelings. I love coaches that think that way. Ime Udoka, Tom Thibodeau. They don't care about your feelings. Michael Malone. They don't care about your feelings. We are big boys here. This is high-stakes poker, and if you want to get butthurt and pissy and all pouted up, then go home, okay? Nobody here is going to give you a shoulder to cry on. That's the way this should be. And I love the way David Adelman Doc, David Adelman gets the game ball for that game from me, okay, for being a badass in his 4th game as an interim coach and taking the ownership's pet guy, Michael Porter Jr. They freaking love him. He's untouchable. The Kroenke family will not trade him, okay? He's the guy, okay? And you benched him for Russell Westbrook, who undoubtedly will not be on this team next year. That's gangster shit, man. That's gangster. So, David Adelman, you have got a feather in your cap, at least from me. Minnesota and the Los Angeles Lakers. Doc, let's take a helicopter view of that one. What you got?
Luka was awesome in Game 1, and the Lakers got kind of blown by Timberwolves. Timberwolves looked really good. I thought the Lakers were going to kind of roll through this series, but it's not looking like that so far. Problem is the Lakers have 3 players on their team. They have Luka, they have Reeves, and they have LeBron. And after that, it's just yuck. So they got to get as much as they can out of Rui Hachimura and, everybody up Jackson. Like, they're not deep enough, but they're good enough that they can still win because that's how good LeBron and those other 2 guys are. So, Lakers need to have a better showing. Like, it can't just be Luka and LeBron out there and everybody else standing around watching. Everybody needs to get involved. You're muted.
The way Game 1 went creates an awesome betting opportunity for us going into Tuesday's Game 2. Are the Lakers going to suck like that in Game 2? No, they're not. We are going to get an awesome effort from the Lakers. Defensively, organizational-wise, dude, Doc, to me, they went through the motions. I never felt them. They got smacked early and kind of oh, wow, it's really going to be this hard? Are you serious? I got to carry water all the way up the mountaintop? Yes, you got to carry water all the way up the mountaintop. This is the Timberwolves. They were in the West Finals last year. The Lakers weren't in the damn West Finals last year. Don't be arrogant about this. Don't be entitled. You're promised nothing, okay? I felt like all that was going on. But, Doc, we have a beautiful uptick over prop situation with Austin Reeves and LeBron James and playing the Los Angeles Lakers ATS because they are going to win that game and even up that series. I don't know if they're going to cover. I don't even know what the spread is right now. I just feel like they ain't going out like that. This Laker team is legit. They've been playing great ball. Minnesota may have that, we got one. Let's just go home at 1-1. So I think it's created a perfect betting opportunity for us or investment opportunity for us on the Lakers heading into game number 2. And think about it, man. Luka was great. He's the only Laker that played well. Literally the only Laker that played well. Hayes didn't even play. Rui sucked. Reeves sucked. The bench sucked. Luka sucked on the defensive end. I thought LeBron sucked on both ends the whole game. Okay, one guy played well on one end. Luka scoring the rock. The Lakers are going to come for Minnesota's money in game 2. Doc, the other two other Western Conference series. Did you watch Oklahoma City and Memphis, or did you just follow that on your phone and be like, whoa, really? 50 points? Like, did you watch that? Did you watch that game or just follow it?
I was watching sports from the comfort of my bed. All right. And I fell asleep right as that game was tipped. I had baseball on the background. The announcer just put me right into a coma. I actually got a good nap. I wake up and I look at my phone and it's 63-28. And I was, what? And I turned it on and I watched the rest of the game. God, are they that good? I love the Thunder, man. I picked them to win it at last summer. There's no way they're that good. I know they're good, but they can't be that good, because if they're that good, then nobody's going to touch them. Denver can get as hot as they want. The Warriors and Curry can do whatever they want. Nobody's beating that team. I put a bet on OKC to win it like 3 months ago to win it all, and that's the bet I would make again today. Like, they just look like the best team. They're the deepest. They're the best coach. They have the best players. They're young. They're healthy. What's not to love?
Great home court advantage, all that stuff. They were in the playoffs last year, so they don't have the Pistons and Rockets thing going on. Where you're like, well, you haven't been in the playoffs together, so I have to fade you and say you're going to lose. So, yeah, all that stuff that you said, Doc. I watched the first half of this game, and that's all we all needed to see, right? And moved on. But very impressive. OKC's my pick to win it all, and they shredded Memphis. Doc, Memphis is going to win maybe one game, okay? But this may be a Broom special in honor of the Thunder. And then finally here, Doc, Golden State and Houston. Houston showed a lot of inexperience, I thought, in game 1. You had foul trouble with several players here. But I thought Amen Thompson was in over his head a little bit. I thought Jalen Green was in over his head a little bit. And I love those guys, and I think they're going to play better as the series goes along. But that was the first playoff game of their lives against the Warriors, who have the number 1 defense in basketball since Jimmy Butler got there. That is a tough assignment, Doc. What you got here on Warriors and Rockets?
Well, playoff Jimmy is a real thing. He's back. He's suddenly not missing games. He's good to go. He's playing D. He's hitting threes. He's doing all the stuff that we want him to do in January, but he's chilling out on the bench. So playoff Jimmy's awesome. I feel like, I'm not going to say fraud, but Houston being number 2 in the West doesn't feel right. They have no experience. Like I keep saying, they're where OKC was like 2 or 3 years ago, which is fine. That's a good place to be, because look where OKC is now. But I just don't think they're ready. I really want them to beat the Warriors, so I'm not giving up. Hopefully, Ime Udoka puts together a great game plan for game 2, and they come out, shut Curry down, and take game 2. But they look outmatched.
Doc, the Rockets are not going to win this series, man. You can't be in your first playoff series together as a team against those guys. You can't. It's death. Death is coming, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. Same thing with the Pistons and the Knicks. We all love what the Pistons have going on. You saw it in game 1. They literally lost in experience. Osar was in foul trouble. Duran was in foul trouble. Kate Cunningham had a terrible first half. That's all it takes. You just lost a game. And by the way, they give up a 21-0 run in the fourth quarter when they let go of the rope and the whole thing dissolved. That's what young teams that don't know what they're doing do. So And look, Doc, the Jimmy Butler thing, it kind of annoys me. Steve Kerr is still in the doghouse from all his crappy rotations all year. And I don't believe in Golden State. I don't think they're making it out of round two. I think they will lose to either Minnesota or the Lakers. But I mean, you got to give them credit, man. Those two guys, Curry and Butler, were badasses last night. Let's move on, Doc, with some betting angles for Monday night's doubleheader. Detroit at New York and the Clippers at the Nugs. I know. That's a tasty doubleheader right there. Take me into any ATS picks you have here, Doc. Who you got? Who you rolling the bones on?
I like the Knicks -6.5 at home against the inexperienced Pistons. And I'm going with the Clippers. If they're going to win the series, they need to win this game. They're at home. They're giving up 1.5.
You mean at
they are at home? Wait, that's at Denver, right?
Correct.
Never mind. They're not at home. They're at Denver, but the Clippers are giving up a 1.5. They need to get a win at Denver. I feel like they were the better team this year, or I don't feel like they were the better team this year. But the Clippers are sneaky, man, and they're well-rounded, and they've got 5 really good starters and some good guys coming off the bench. I'm going to go with the Clippers -1.5 because they need to win. They need to win this game in Denver if they're going to win the series.
I agree. They need to win this game in Denver if they're going to win the series, but I don't think they're going to win this series. I never thought they're going to win this series, and I think what I know, NBA TV, NBA radio, sports ethos, is that for 20 years the Clippers have been way more hyped than they should have ever been hyped. The Kawhi Leonard, Paul George thing was overhyped. Lob City was overhyped. What do they have to show for it? Nothing. One trip to the West Finals in the history of the organization, okay? They set you up to let you down. That's who they are. And they've got the ultimate joke artist in James Harden, who's about to get started with that once they get to Game 5, Game 6, and or Game 7. I like Denver tonight, Doc, because if I'm David Adelman, I'm like, dude, we just beat them, and they're favored, okay? They're favored in our house after we just beat them. So I don't, does it make sense? Yeah, it makes sense, because that's the way the money is coming in. I'm just on the other side of it. I think the Clippers blew Game 1. That was their game, Doc. That's the game you have to win. You have to close the deal on that because you're playing great. It's Game 1. You're taking them by surprise a little bit. Now everybody starts making adjustments, and you crunch down into the mud of a playoff series. You missed a shot bam, to get that punch in, and you missed. And Denver went bam, and they hit. And so now, like, I don't know if the Clippers are going to be able to get all that back together and go back to Denver and win tonight. I like Denver. I will take the point with the Denver Nugs. And I'm with you on New York -6.5, Doc. Here's why. I'll make this quick. You had a disjointed Pistons team in Game 1. The veterans, Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr. were awesome, okay? The young guys weren't. Cade Cunningham had a bad game by his standards. Jalen Duren had a small, tiny game. And then Oscar Thompson was in foul trouble, didn't play well. Okay, so I anticipate all the young fellas are going to play better tonight. Second game, they get that first game jitter thing out of the way. But now, are we going to expect Tobias Harris to have another 20-point first half? I can frickin' promise you that's not happening. Is Beasley going to have 6 more threes? And is Tim Hardaway Jr. going to have 19 more points? I don't know. Probably not. So they're probably all coming down a little bit. The young fellas come up a little bit. And so it kind of balances out. Like, I don't see, like, boom, some pop, some like major thing happening here. You're still at Madison Square Garden. You're still against a playoff-ready team with a great coach and all these badass clutch players. So I got to take New York -6.5, Doc. On to some props. Little Dr. A prop action. Doc, I've got 7 props for you. How many props you got on this game for the people here on the Fantasy NBA today?
I've got 4 with a couple throw-ins. Brunson over 6.5 assists. I like it. He had 8 in Game 1. He's the leader of that team. OG Anunoby and Cat and Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges all need the ball. They all need to eat. He's going to be passing it around. So I think that's a good one. Brunson over 6.5 times. OG over 16.5 points. Dude scored 23 in the first game. He's been scoring like a monster for a solid month now. So I like OG. What else do I have? Hardaway's over under is only 11.5. Like you said last game, Hardaway had, what do you have, 19 or 20? 19. Yeah. So over 11.5. I don't think it should be too hard for him to do in the starting lineup as long as he's making shots. And Beasley's over under is 14.5. He had 20 points. He hit 6 3-pointers. I don't know if I trust that one very much. I probably am not going to do anything with that. But he's only got to score 15 points. And he's going to play minutes off the bench. So that one's there. And then I think Cade and Cat, if you want to do a parlay and hit both of those guys for double-doubles in it, they should be automatic.
I like it. Ricky Props likes Josh Hart, Doc. I like Josh Hart's point over here. He's at 12.5. He scored 13 in game one, but as we remember, he was in foul trouble in the first half, did nothing in the first half, and then did all his goodies in the second half. He may be in foul trouble again. That probably won't happen back-to-back games, just law of averages. And so he's probably going to be on the court more. We know that Tibbs is going to play him 48 minutes. I mean, he's going to be out there. So I think Josh Hart is going to be over the 12.5 points. I like Mikal Bridges, Doc. I don't love this. This is, you know what I do? I did vet this. So he sucked in game one. Mikal Bridges absolutely sucked in game one. And then he had that game where he played 6 seconds. You go back and it's 14, it's 17, it's 18, it's 15, it's 16, right? It's in the teens. He's not usually spiking up to 20. After the game one he had, we may get the full boomerang spike all the way up to 20. Okay, we don't need to get that high. Mikal Bridges is at 14.5 points. Mikal Bridges is a really quality player, and he was dreadful in game one. So, again, this is what we do. You take players coming out of wreckage, you play the over the next game. You take players coming off of an act of God, you fade them and go under that next game. One of my favorite deals in prop betting. I'll make all these quick. Jalen Brunson over 28.5 points. He has to score 30 for this team. He just does. He took a million shots. I think he took 27 shots in game one to get up to 34. So I just think Brundog's going to be living around that 30-point plateau the whole playoffs. So I'll take the over at 28.5. I don't usually do that, but Brundog's my guy. Karl Anthony Towns over 23.5. If somehow Brunson has a dud game, Cat's not having a dud game too. And Cat played really, really well in game one. I like Cat over 23.5 points. I like Cade over 27.5 points, Doc, because he's going to play better. He actually played really well in the second half of that game until the fourth quarter happened. But I like Cade over 27.5. He scored well against the Knicks in the regular season. Westbrook over 10.5 points, Doc. Westbrook's the thing, man. Playing against his former team, he vibed out and really was the difference in the game of game one. And it's 10.5. And he's not coming off of an act of God game. He shot 5 of 17, all right? And made a bunch of shots late in the game, right? 10.5 points over on Russell Westbrook. And then finally, Doc, Jamal Murray over 19.5 points. Jamal Murray had 21 points in game one, but he sucked. He was 7 of 20 from the field. He did make 3 of 7 threes, played 48 minutes. We know how Denver rolls. They play their guys tons of minutes. They're like Knicks West. So Jamal Murray has to get to 20 for us to click on this, and so I like that. Josh Hart over 12.5, Mikal Bridges over 14.5, Brunson over 28.5, Cat over 23.5, Cade over 27.5, Westbrook over 10.5, and Jamal Murray over 19.5 as well. That's it. Ricky Props. Poof.
All right. We're only 10 minutes long. I think we just did a show.
Only 10 minutes long. Guys, good luck. Enjoy the games. Doc and I'll be back next Monday or Wednesday. I forget, Doc.
Sometime next week.
I think we're back on Wednesday. Andre's going to correct me. I think we're at 11 a.m. and noon on Wednesday with the Fantasy NBA today. But the next broadcast will be Brew and Doc tomorrow. So you'll be looking forward to that. Me and Doc will have you guys on Wednesday. A couple of reminders before we get out of here, guys. You want to join our fantasy leagues? We have big news. We are launching brand new fantasy league formats to elevate your experience. Plus, you'll get the chance to compete against our experts. That's right. Our pros will be playing alongside you in the NBA, NFL, and MLB. Whether you're an advanced player or a beginner, we have cash leagues for everybody. To join and gain priority access, DM at ANDM Lemouche, which is Lemos, at ANDM Lemos on Twitter, or hit us up on email, support@sportsethos.com. We really appreciate you guys, man. Go to sportsethos.com and get a membership. Download the app. It's completely free. Subscribe to our podcast feed here, the Fantasy NBA Today, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Sports Ethos, as well. For Doc and for Andre Lemouche and for all of you, I am Rick Kamla. We really appreciate y'all. This episode's been brought to you by Bet Online.